What's up, fellas? Thank you for joining me today. So something that has just been getting on my nerves lately is all these YouTubers who complain about the Google Stadia pricing structure. And so today I just kind of want to make sense of it, and I hope this video does a good job, like just letting you guys understand why Google Stadia is different from Netflix, because I think people are just used to the pricing structure of Netflix, so they compare every streaming service to that pricing structure. So hopefully this makes sense. So in order to talk about the differences between a service like Stadia and Netflix, we have to actually look at how they are similar. Now, before Netflix came into play, there was a big juggernaut store that was doing something that Netflix was already trying to do. So if you guys didn't know, the founder of Netflix started Netflix because he was sick of late fees, right? There was a time he rented a movie and he had a $40 late fee, and he was afraid to let his wife know, and so in the process of this, that's kind of how the idea of Netflix came into play. So if you guys didn't know, back in the days, it was you pay a monthly subscription and you can rent like 2 or 3 DVDs out at one time. So you don't have to worry about late fees. You can have them out as long as you like, for months period even. And then after you're done, you just put in the mail and they mail you another one. So that's how the subscription fee pricing structure came into play for Netflix. But in that time, Blockbuster was the top dog, and they had their own way of doing things. Pretty much people came into the physical store, they would pick the DVDs, they'll rent it, they'll have a couple of days to watch it and then return it. And then if people didn't return in time, then like I said earlier, there was that late fee. So people were used to this system. It's been going on for quite some time, and so Netflix coming in was different, and people at that time didn't know what to think of it. Now it's the standard, but back then it was actually something new, and some people didn't like it. So in a way, Google is stepping into a new situation here, right? People are used to going to stores and picking up their games, right? People are used to going to GameStop, looking around, interacting, picking up games, and then coming home and then installing a 3-hour patch just to play the games that they just purchased. So that is all something that is relevant. So you can compare a store like GameStop to how Blockbuster was, right? And so here comes Stadia. Stadia is kind of like the Netflix. Again, similarity right here. They are coming into a new market, trying something different. People looked at it, Netflix back then, as something that was ludicrous and something that was probably never gonna work. Even the CEO, there was a time when the CEO of Blockbuster at Netflix actually tried to partner with Blockbuster, and the CEO of Blockbuster said no to it, and hence he was fired because Netflix took off, and Blockbuster, as you guys know, is nowhere to be found now. Not saying Google is going to like come in and take over, but it's kind of like a similar approach here, as to where Google is coming to something new. People are used to going to physical stores, picking up their game, coming home and playing it. But there's an opportunity here for something special and magical to happen, just like it did for Netflix. So the other difference that I want to talk about is that Google Stadia is actually not just a streaming service. So Netflix works just as a streaming service. You pay a subscription fee, right? And then you get to stream as many content as you want. It's all there available for you. The difference with Stadia is actually a gaming platform in the cloud. It's not just a streaming service. Yes, you pay a monthly fee to get access to Google service to stream your game, but it's actually a digital store in the cloud, if that makes sense. Google partnered up with AMD to create the graphics card, kind of like Sony and the PS5 and Xbox One is doing. They partnered up with these companies to create the video card that is going to run the PS5 and the Xbox Ones, but the only difference is that Google has these video cards in the cloud, as to where Xbox and Microsoft are actually gonna put it in the physical box for you. So as far as like thinking and hoping that you know, like you should have all your games, like every game, kind of like Netflix, you should have every game accessible, you get to choose and pick one. This is not PSN Now, this is not Netflix, this is actually, compare it to something like Steam, compare it to something like the PlayStation PS Now store, compare it to something like the Nintendo eShop store. That is the approach that Google and Stadia are taking when it comes to just selling games online. Okay, it's not a streaming service like the PSN Now where they have a catalog of games to choose from and stream at your convenience. This is different. This is a store in the cloud. So I hope that clarifies that whole argument as to why this should be free, like a lot of these YouTubers are stating. It's a different model, and I feel like Google is trying to do something different. It's never been done. People are not used to change. People don't like change, but I feel like once this is out there for people to try it, they might actually like it and appreciate it. So I feel like those are the differences between Netflix and Google Stadia. Again, Netflix is a streaming service, right? It originated that way. You pay a monthly fee so you don't have to worry about late fees, and then you have, again, access to a catalog full of movies that you can choose and pick from at your convenience. As to where Google Stadia is like a PSN store, eShop store, and a Steam store where you have access to games, right? You can pay for your games and play it digitally, but the only difference is you are in the cloud. That store is in the cloud, so you purchase it in the cloud and then you pay, again, Google a service fee monthly to play those games in the cloud, but they are your games, kind of like how eShop games, when you purchase it full price, they are your games. And yeah, if eShop closes down, you lose those games. If PSN closes down, you lose those games. If Google Stadia closes down, you lose those games. Though that's the difference. That is the difference. I hope that makes sense. I hope that clarifies things for you guys. And please, these big YouTubers, stop making videos about pricing. It is fair. It's been done before. Steam has been doing it for a while. Nintendo eShop has been doing it for a while. It's nothing different here. Y'all are just hating on Stadia. Y'all are just hating on new technology. Y'all don't like change. A lot of people don't like change, but you can say the same thing for Netflix. When they first came out, people were not used to that. They didn't like it, but look where they are now. That's all I gotta say. Till next time, peace.